And part of the Southern Governors Forum stance today is that the frown at selective criminal administration of justice and resolve that arrests should be made within the ambit of the law and fundamental human rights. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. So much to talk about tonight. You don't want to miss any bit of this program, I promise you. Stick with us, everyone, because we dissect all of the stands and the agreements of the Southern region governors who met today in Lagos. What a day it's been, and so many issues that have been thrown up. Tonight, our attention is on the outcome of the Southern Governors Forum meeting and some of their stand on sundry issues. So stay with us, everyone, as we begin bring you details and perspectives to the matter. But let's kickstart the show tonight with your political roundup stories.
A coalition of civil society organizations in Abuja are calling on the National Assembly to urgently commence investigation into the COVID-19 spending in the country by instituting a public hearing with invitation to all heads of agencies and committees that handle COVID-19 finances. Speaking at a joint news conference on COVID-19 transparency and accountability in Abuja, members of the group insist that COVID-19 related contracts and procurement processes were not transparently done to guarantee proper accountability.
95% of corruption happens during procurement and contracting. Today, do we have access to public record on procurement and contracting? No, we don't.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has refuted claims making the rounds that he is planning to float a new political party ahead of the 2023 general elections. Chief Obasanjo says the story is false and there is no such plan, even in the near future. A statement by Special Assistant on Media Affairs, Kehinde Akiyemi, reads in part, "I'm done with partisan politics, but my position in Nigeria and in Africa, and without being immodest and indeed in the world, my door must be opened, and it is open to any individual or group of individuals who want to seek my opinion, view, or advice on any issue or matter, and I will respond to the best of my ability without being part of that individual or group." The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, is calling for continued collaboration among Nigerian lawmakers to push for the development for the people they represent. He made the comments in Ebonyi State, Southeast Nigeria, during the presentation of empowerment tools to the people of Igboho Abduction South Federal Constituency, where he was represented by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Idris Wase. The Speaker notes that the people cannot feel the positive impact of governance from the executive or judiciary arms of government alone. The crisis rocking the All Progressives Congress in Kwara State is getting deeper and messier with the opening of a new party secretariat by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. While opening the secretariat, the minister assured everyone that those yet to be registered by the national leadership of the party will be registered, noting that the scheduled World Congress will not hold, a claim which was countered by the leadership of the state legislature and called for a sanction.
There will be no Congress in Kwara State until and when we're all registered.
Reacting to the issue, 21 out of the 24 members of the State House of Assembly in a press conference faulted the claim of the Minister of the Congress not holding.
Alhaji Lai Mohammed, as a Minister of Information, is a spokesman for the federal government, not a spokesman for All Progressive Congress at the National Secretariat, and so does not have any authority to convey to Kwaras why Kwara will not hold Congress with other sister states.
Thank you so much, everyone, and let's get started. We start from Lagos, where the meeting of the governors of the southern state has ended with a communique demanding, among other things, that the next president of Nigeria should come from the south. The governors have also set September the 1st, 2021 as a deadline for the promulgation of the anti-open grace law by member states. All the details of the communique read by the chairman of the Southern Governors and Governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, include the rejection of the 3% equity shares for oil-producing communities, opting for 5% instead. The meeting is also a follow-up of the Asaba meeting hosted by the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa about 2 months ago, where they agreed on far-reaching conclusions as open grazing and matters of restructuring. Let's begin with perhaps the screaming headlines out of what the Southern Governors agreed today. This is being something on the lips of so many people. So when the Southern Governors said this is how they're going to go, perhaps it's not surprising to some people. So let's begin with what they decided on the issue of the 2023 presidency. Take a listen to the agreement on 2023 presidency.
The forum reiterates its commitment to the policies of equity, fairness, and unanimously agreed that the presidency of Nigeria be rotated between southern and northern Nigeria, and resolve that the next president of Nigeria should emerge from the south.
So that is their stance. There are so many other issues, the issue of PIB, the issues of some of the things that we have seen that the security agents have done today, and also the issue of anti-open grazing law and what they want, the issue of their stance on the PIB and the rejection of some aspect of it, call for state policing, and of course, the arrests that have been made in some part of the southern region recently. So let's get started. And let's hear from one of those governors and the deputy governors who sat today at that meeting in Lagos. We're being joined on the program tonight by the deputy governor of Edo State, who was also at that meeting, Comrade Philip Schwab. He joins us from Benin City. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. And perhaps we should begin from the very top where we started on the issue of 2023 presidency. The governors today met about less than 2 of the 17, about 15 of the state represented today, unanimously agree that the presidency in 2023 should go to the south. But you belong to different political parties. You, for example, you are a deputy governor, a second-time deputy governor of the PDP. The governor of Ondo State, who read the communique, is a governor of the APC. The host governor is a governor of the APC. So this is majorly a political party affair. How did you arrive at this decision, and will your political party yield to the stance of the governors?
Well, good evening, Sheung. Thank you for having me. The position that was canvassed today is the position of the Southern Governors Forum, and that represents what we in the southern part of Nigeria want for our region. It's and the forum is apolitical. It's not. It does not have political coloration. APC, PDP. We don't discuss party there. We just discuss what concerns our region. And as far as we are concerned, it's only fair that the presidency this time should come to the south. And when we mean south, we are talking about southwest, south-south, and southeast. And we are saying whether APC, ABGA, PDP, the south feels that the next presidency should come from the southern part of Nigeria, flowing from all the rotational issues that we have had in the country. And if you check, presently the president is from the north. Before now, we had Jonathan, we have Yaradua, we have Obasanjo, and when we have to count the military, it has been more of the northern people. So we are saying that for fairness and equity this time, since the presidency is in the north, in 2023, the South should produce the presidency.
So, Comrade Shuaib, yeah, okay. So I learned.
Agree. Whether
Yeah.
PDP or PDP.
All right, but the question now is that even in the southern region, there are 17 states of the south in Nigeria. There is still the clamor by a region of the country that feels that they have been marginalized, and they think that they deserve to have the presidency in 2023. The Igbo states and the southeastern state of the country believe that they should have it. Did you consider that also? Perhaps the issue of the micro zoning, when you talk about the major zoning, which is the south that you have agreed, are you thinking of narrowing it down to a specific region?
Yeah, what we agreed today is for the southern part of Nigeria. And anybody from the southern part of Nigeria can contest for the presidency in 2023. It could come from South-South, it could come from Southwest, it could come from Southeast. The microzoning, as we have not reached the level of microzoning. What we have just agreed is that it is customary, and for equity and fairness, the southern part, the word on the line, southern part. And in the southern part, we have Southwest, South-South, and Southeast. So anybody, any of these zones, geopolitical zone can contest for it. The issue of microzoning, it was not discussed. What was discussed is just we want for equity and fairness, presidency should come to the southern part of Nigeria.
Because the issue again, if you are talking about fairness and equity, so if I take you to a very recent history from 1999, anyone that had come from the southern region of the country had come from the southwest and the south-south region. So, and there are just about 3 regions in the southern region of the country: the south-south, the southwest, and the southeast. Out of those 3, 2 have had their share. The southeast seems not to have had it. Because of fairness that you have mentioned, is it fair to allow the southeast to have it this time around?
This is a forum of all the southern governors of Nigeria. And like I said, what is key now is to get this position to the south. And when it gets to the south, when we all agree, because don't forget that the presidency is not going to, the president will not going to be a president of the southern part of Nigeria. It's going to be president of Nigeria. Even as we demand that for fairness and equity it should come to the south, we must also put into consideration that the northern part of Nigeria too should be part of this arrangement of zoning this position to the south. And by the time it gets to the south, the issue of micro zoning might take its effect. For now, let's get it to the south. That is what we are concerned about for now.
Okay, so the question again, Your Excellency, will be that if you're saying this, you should be telling your political party. For example, you and Governor Obaseki are from the PDP, Governor Yinson Wike from the PDP, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Ugwuanyi, all of you are from the PDP. So the same for the APC governors. Are you telling your political party, because the governors are a major block, a determining factor in the decision of a political party? Have you told your governors, your political parties, or what did the forum decide? Are you taking this message to your political parties? Because that is where it's going to be decided.
Yeah, Shehu, it's our decision. And as a southern person, the party will have to listen to us. Because what we have agreed, we are all taking it to our various party. The APC governors, we take it to their party. The PDP governors, we take it to their party. It's not going to be just a southern governor's pronouncement. It's an agreement by all of us. And that is the position we will canvass in our various National Working Committee meetings. So when we go back to our various parties, we must canvass that position. And that is the decision of the House. And that's what we agreed. We agreed that we want the presidency to be zoned to the south. So in our various political parties, the onus is on us now to take it, and that is what we have agreed. All of us will take that message back home to our various party, and our party should know that this is what we want. Beyond the agreement we've taken, we are taking it back to our party that the southern part of Nigeria should produce the next governor.
Okay, so another issue I'd like to take you up on, Your Excellency, is on the issue of security. It does look like the forum was not happy with a few incidents that have happened in the country, but it's just a generalized term that was used to capture those incidents. For example, the forum said that they would want a situation where if there is an operation of security operatives within any of the states, that the state governors should be informed about those kind of decisions of the security agencies. Were there any specific incidents? Because there are now inferences being drawn into this matter. Is it that of Sunday Igboho or that of Nnamdi Kanu? Are there specific incidents that the forum is not happy about?
Yeah, generally, without measuring a specific incident, generally the governors were not happy with the modus operandi of the security outfit, not just the police. The SSS, with federal agencies are coming to the state to make an arrest. It's customary that the chief security officer must be informed. Your method of the method or whatever method you come and use to arrest whoever I want to arrest, you can keep it to yourself. But you are coming to that state for an official assignment, and he must know. Your modus operandi may not be revealed to the governor, but at least he should be aware that you are coming to that state as the chief security officer. He must be aware, and possibly if there's any assistance he can give, he can give. If there's no assistance he can give, at least he's aware as the chief security officer. So chief security officer, the method.
Yeah, it seems we're having trouble with the connection with the Deputy Governor there, Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shoaib. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time tonight and your thought on that meeting that you had today. I have my other guest on the program tonight. I have the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, who joins us from Ghana, and also from our Abuja studio. He's a national chairman of the ADC, Alhaji Yabaji Sani. Let me perhaps begin from where we stopped with Comrade Philip Shoaib, and let me ask Mr. Falana on this one. We've seen incidents that have happened in the case of Sunday Adeyemo, Sunday Igboho in Ibadan. We've seen what happened in Lagos, where the Ilana Omo Oduwa, the Yoruba Nation rally held, and they were dispersed at some point. Mr. Falana, give us a sense of what you make of that scenario in Ibadan and that of Lagos. Mr. Falana, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you give us a sense of your assessment? Yeah, it's glad to hear you, Mr. Falana. If you can hear me, what's your assessment? Because it's one of the issues that the governors of the southern region raised today as to the operation of security agencies. And they are demanding that if there will be any operation of the security agencies, the chief security officer of the state, the governors, should be informed. With what happened in Ibadan, the raid on Sunday Igboho's house, and the rally we saw in Lagos, what is your assessment and what's your take?
Well, I think it is a decision that is coming rather late. Governors are chief security officers of their state in line with the provisions of the Constitution. And in the case of AG Anambra State, Attorney General of Anambra State, and Attorney General of the Federation, when Governor Ngige of the then Anambra State was kidnapped, with the connivance of a chief police officer, the state governor went to court, and the Supreme Court made the point that commissioners of police in each state are under the control of the governor, and they must take directives from the governor. In the case of Inspector General of Police and ANPP, the Court of Appeal made the point that when it comes to public meetings in every state, rallies in every state, demonstrations, the governor has the last say. That as a matter of fact, the name of the IG, Inspector General of Police, is not mentioned in the Public Order Act. But what has happened over the years, even when the party of a governor of a state wants to hold a rally, you get a directive from the Inspector General of Police in Abuja that cannot read. So I think our governors are beginning to appreciate that they are the chief security officers in the state. By the way, Sheung, every state government in Nigeria has a security council. The governor is the chair. The commissioner of police is a member. The director of state security service is a member. All the military commanders in that state are members. What is more, we have the Nigerian Police Council headed by the president. The president is only the chairman. The 36 state governors are members. Of course, the Inspector General of Police and the Chairman Police Service Commission. That body, that 39-member body, where you have 36 governors, is empowered by the Constitution to administer, organize, and supervise the Nigerian police force. So, governors are right, perfectly in order, in giving this directive. Now, you can't have a situation where nocturnal arrests are made in a state without, as if you are planning a coup. Take Ibadan, for instance. The invasion of the home of Igboho happened in the night, and for a whole day, everybody was wondering who did it, and that 7 people were killed. People were arrested and abducted at 2 a.m. The governor of the state wasn't aware. So everybody was trying to find out, calling security agencies, who's done it, only for the state security service to issue a very provocative statement. After almost 12 hours, to say we did it, we killed 2 people, we raided a house. Oh, somebody attempted to resist arrest, and you killed 2 people? Now, the governor of the state wasn't aware. And I think what is being said, in 2016, judges were arrested in the dead of the night. And I came out on that occasion to warn that having regards to what had happened in Ghana, I think in 1981 or thereabout, where 4 judges were abducted in the dead of the night and killed, that we must stop this. In my own personal case, I was once arrested in the dead of the night in Lagos. Dr. Beko and some people was arrested in the same night. I was dumped on Epe Road, while Dr. Beko was dumped somewhere on Badagry Road. Now, that was then. In these days of kidnapping, anybody can come to your house in the night and arrest you. And these are guys who don't wear uniforms.
But Mr. Falano, Mr. Falano, what you're saying, does it apply to the DSS? Because the Department of State Services, in some other crimes, I mean, they're perhaps renowned for some operations that are not very clear to the eye in terms of being open like your police officers in uniform. Does this case apply to them that they need to make some of the operations public?
No, there is no law in Nigeria that allows you to arrest anybody in the dead of the night. I mean, you are not planning a coup. We are not armed robbers. I mean, and I did say this when the judges were arrested. If you are going to arrest a judge, as they did in 2016, What stops you from staying around the premises? Or you want to be sure, oh, the man is not going to escape. You stay around the premises. If he's going to drive out, you just simply accost him. Your lordship, your attention is needed. We must be civilized. These are very dangerous legacies of military dictatorship in our country. There is no provision unless a crime is being committed in the night. You cannot go there and arrest. In this case, you are required by law to have a warrant of arrest, a search warrant.
Mr. Falana, let's assume that the DSS had a warrant of arrest. Could they have gone to Igboho's house without a warrant of arrest?
Of course, that's what they did. There was no search warrant. They searched. Nobody took an inventory. Now, Chief Igboho, Sunday Adeyemo said, no, I didn't have any gun in my house. Yet the SSS is parading guns and other ammunition. So all the controversy will have been unnecessary if we had behaved, if the SSS had behaved like a modern civilized agency. There will have been no dispute or controversy.
Let's take a breather. But when we come back, there are a lot of issues raised by the Southern governors today, which I would like Mr. Falana and Engineer Yabaji Sani to weigh in on. Don't go anywhere. It does look like we've just got started. We'll be back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here. So, 15 governors, that is, here. 3 deputies represented their governors, and we are out of the 17 states of the southern region. They met in Lagos, Nigeria, and they came up with a lot of issues. There are 4 major areas which we're trying to identify tonight. So Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has been talking to us on this matter. And we have in our Abuja studio, Engineer Yabaji Sani is the National Chairman of the ADC. Thank you so much, and it's good to see you again, Engineer Sani. We were talking to the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shoaibu, who was also at that meeting, and he gave us a sense of what the governors were thinking when they came up with those recommendations. Now, let me go to Engineer Yabaji, because you're a politician. I would like you to give us your view on this matter. And you're from the northern region of the country. So when you hear that the governors of the southern region are saying, let us zone presidency in 2023 to the southern region of the country, how does that come to you?
Well, Sean, my party is Action Democratic Party, which is ADP, not ADC.
Apologies for that.
Having said that, I think the coming together of the governors of the southern extraction, to me, believe you me, is the very wrong way to go about issues of politics that affects the whole nation. Because the message here, unfortunately, is like ganging up against the rest of the Nigerians, particularly the North, by state actors who should be the ones that will protect and advance the unity of this country and ensure that all the parts of this country will feel comfortable by whoever end of the day will emerge as the president of this country. But if you go the way you are going, and you have all the things listed in the communique or in their meeting, it seems to be a kind of ganging up against the North. When you look at the grazing, you look at the insecurity, you look at the issue of politics 2023, how can we have elected officials, governors for that matter, coming out in this manner to emphasize things that divide us, not talking about things that unite the country? I mean, it beats my imagination. It is unfortunate that we don't have governors today coming together on issues of principle, that maybe that we are progressives or we want a progressive government in this country, or we belong to a particular ideological leaning and therefore we want to entrench that kind of politics in the country. But what we are hearing is that it's like these governors are not anything better than Igboho or Kanu or any person that is not elected to protect the nation. So I'm disappointed, really, to say the least, because by now, we shouldn't be talking about these dichotomies that have nothing to do with good governance. You know, you talk about North, you talk about religion, you talk about where you come from, and you are talking about fairness. I think we are getting it wrong. And the earlier these governors wake up to their responsibilities of ensuring that this country becomes stronger as one indissoluble, and one united country, the better for everybody. The way they are going will even kind of scare the North. And the North, don't forget that the North, in fact, controls, you know, the largest chunk of the vote that you want to use to become the president of this country. Except if they are talking about president of Southern Nigeria, not the president of Nigeria. You must act in a way that somebody can entrust his future, his affairs in your hands. But the way these Southerners, the governors in particular, are going, is not in any way in tandem with the intention of the founding fathers of this country. And if you look at what I think most of Nigerians, particularly the Northerners, will take from this is that we are out against you, and we want to make sure that we will retaliate, you know, whatever you have been doing to us, which perhaps, you know, nobody in the North really intends anything bad, you know, for the country. In fact, insecurity they are talking about, who is the worst, you know, who is suffering, you know, the worst scenario of insecurity in this country? It is the North. Who is suffering the worst case of poverty? It is the North. Who is suffering the worst case of unemployment? It is the North. So what for God's sake are you saying in that case? So please, let us behave as responsible state actors that are elected on the basis of advancing the unity of this country, not on the basis of dividing this country between the South and North. So 23 years, you know, everybody knows that. In fact, Sean, when you talk about fairness and you look at the zones, North Central, where I come from, has not been given chance in this country to head the country in a civilian administration. All we have had, maybe from North Central, and everybody has had it, is a military junta. And the military junta are just people who they will not even consult anybody,
right.
You know, before they emerge.
Yeah.
So don't talk about fairness. When you talk about fairness, North Central should be given the opportunity to rule this country come 2023. So let us talk about how to unite this country. How to advance the
reason why I'm asking you this question is because you're a politician, and this conversation, politicians have this kind of conversation. I remember at the twilight of President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration, the conversation of where next the president should go came up. Even when President Goodluck Jonathan was in office, this conversation also came up. Where should it go? And I remember vividly that northern politicians clamor that power should return to the North. So why do you think it's going to make the North uncomfortable when, if you count the years, and after President Buhari leaves office, it would have been 8 years of a northerner, and there is this arrangement, an unsigned agreement within the political class that the power should be rotated, especially the PDP, be rotated between the North and the South.
The worst violators of the agreement you're talking about is even the southern, part of the country. When Jonathan was supposed to do only 4 years of his administration, when Yar'Adua passed away, why did he not stop at 4 years? Why did he go another 2 years and even wanted to have a third term? And the Southerners want to load it over the North so that, now they're telling us that it is 8 years of Buhari, so after 8 years of Buhari, it must come. Constitutionally, it's even under PDP, it's supposed to be 8 years of President Obasanjo, and after that, North was to have 8 years. North didn't have the 8 years. So when you are talking about fairness, why don't we be fair with ourselves when we are talking? So don't talk about fairness here. Talk about how do we unite this country? How do we ensure that we have a president that can deliver, for the people of this country? Where is the masses in all these discussions we're talking about? That the North, that we are, it is now the southern part that will have the chance to rule the country.
There is another issue.
Talk about the masses.
Yeah, there's another issue that is very critical. So the southern governors had said that come 1st of September 2021, they set it as a deadline for the promulgation of the anti-open grazing law in all the 17 states of the South in Nigeria. What's your take on that?
This is unfortunate, Sean, because we had, like I said, state actors, governors for that matter, giving ultimatum to a president, and you want to have peace in the country. You don't give ultimatum, for God's sake. You don't gang up against your president. You don't, because they know that the president has come out with a policy on grazing. Why can't you go back into your rooms? I mean, into political parties or some caucuses. Or
Engineer Yabagi-Sani, is this a gang up? Apologies, please. Is this a gang up against the president? Because I didn't see the name of the president here. The solution of the southern governors is against the bandits and against the killer herders who they say are moving with weapons. And their solution is that there should be no to open grazing. That is their own solution. And why would you say it's a gang up against the president?
Nobody supports, terrorism, because I even look at it as terrorists. People who are carrying, guns without license or without the authorities giving you the permission to do that. But the point I'm making is that everybody in this country and all over the world knows that Mr. President has come out very strongly behind the issue of open grazing. So why should state actors that are supposed to be in the same party with him, that are supposed to protect the interests of this country, now come out and give ultimatum, to the country, which is headed by a northerner? So this is wrong. This is the wrong way to run this country. Please.
All right. So let me. And Abduction. Okay.
And then knowing that they are not representing, even though.
Let me bring back Mr. Falana into the conversation. All right, let me bring back Mr. Falana into the conversation. Mr. Falana, I would like you to react to some of the things Engineer Yabagi-Sani said. I didn't want to bring the issue of zoning to you because I know you're not a politician. But if you want to react to that, please, you're free. But the anti-open grazing law, which they're giving a deadline for the promulgation for September the 1st. What's your reaction on that?
Shehu, I think you are making a mistake. I am a politician, even though I'm not a member of any of the mainstream political parties, that you can be in the APC in the morning and PDP in the afternoon and then return to APC later in the night. So I'm not part of that. I'm not part of the political opportunism in Nigeria. I belong to a group of Nigerians, that are demanding, that are working towards the socialist reconstruction of our country. It's a party, and we're going to form a party. We're going to be in alliance with other genuine progressive people towards the liberation of our people from the shackles of poverty, unemployment, and insecurity. And so that is the difference between what you are doing, what we are doing, and, politicians. But with profound respect to the engineer, and I don't think you are being fair to me, Sean. I thought you should have directed your question to one of the governors or their representative. My own position is this. Yes, the distribution general has just spoken. It's also being unfair. You have the Northern Governors Forum, you have the Southern Governors Forum, and so one cannot be attacked while the other one is spared. And I have said in this forum that I will prefer all the time, that these decisions are taken in the Nigerian Governors Forum, so that there is a unanimity of purpose in major issues. And again, there is no dichotomy of views. The Northern Governors Forum has come up publicly against open grazing. In fact, according to the members of that forum, open grazing has become obsolete and backward and no longer in tune with modern reality. So the Northern Governors Forum, just like their Southern colleagues, embrace the National Livestock Transformation Plan of the Buhari administration, which has ranching as a component part. So if there was any problem at all, it was the president that abandoned the policy of his government and started looking for grazing routes in this age and time. So the Northern Governors Forum has not departed from its own position, that both the Northern Governors Forum and the Southern Governors Forum have embraced the National Livestock Transformation Plan of the federal government. And I do know states like Kaduna, Kano, and I think Taraba and one or two other are already, constructing ranches or what you call rural settlements. They are not looking for grazing routes. And we have made it clear there is no grazing law, grazing act that embraces the entire country. So we must understand where some of this, where this confusion is coming from. Secondly, again, this is unfortunate. In the Second Republic, we used to talk of the Progressive Governors Forum, largely made up of UPN governors, PRP governors, and GMPP governors. North, South, Christian, Muslim, nobody bothered. At that time, we were talking of politics of ideology, politics of programs and manifesto. This time around, yes, from time to time, members of the political class in Nigeria talk of zoning. Professional bodies talk of zoning. Talk of zoning. So there's nothing strange. And the political parties are already talking about zoning. And that's why I was rather surprised. I thought this is a matter that should perhaps be discussed at the Nigerian Governors Forum. Because some northern governors, like Governor Zulum of Borno State, Governor Rufai of Kaduna State, and I think one or two others, have come up publicly to say that the presidency of Nigeria should go to the south. So for me, the political parties have regard to the threat by centripetal and centrifugal forces in the country. The political class, regardless of political parties, may decide on their own where you want the president to come from. And by the way, Sheung, neither region can do it alone. In President Buhari had contested 3 times. He won the 4th time because his CPC had an alliance with ACN in the southwest and a faction of APGA that later formed the APC. So 17 states cannot produce the president, 19 states in the north cannot produce the president. So there must be, some alliance that will cut across geopolitical zone. But what is important and which is missing in the resolution of the southern government is that we can't talk of the presidency in the air. You must address the problems confronting the country. We must have a president that will adopt Chapter 2 of the Constitution, the fundamental objectives that will guarantee access to education, access to health, security for our people, employment opportunities, payment of minimum wage as and when due, payment of pension as and when due, and so on and so forth. So unless you are prepared to do that, the governors, whether of the north or the south, may be talking in abstracto. For the masses of our people, north and south today, people are complaining about rising costs of food items that have hit the roof. It's not about who is in power. It is that we are operating very dangerous neoliberal economic policies that are promoting poverty in the country, insecurity, unemployment, and the rest of them. And what are we doing to address this problem.
Okay, so
that is key for me.
All right. There's another issue that the governors raised. I'd like you to listen to how the Governor Akeredolu took that up in the communique he read today. Take a listen to him on the PIB.
The forum, however, rejects in very strong terms the proposed 3% for host community and supports 5% share of the oil revenue to the host communities as recommended by the House of Representatives. The forum also rejects the proposed 30% share of profits for the exploration of oil and gas in the basins. The forum rejects the ownership structure of the proposed Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation Limited and disagrees with the company that the company invested in the Federal Ministry of Finance. The forum proposed that the company should be held in trust by the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, since all tiers of government have stake in that vehicle.
Let me first get Engineer Yabagi Sani's view, because he was a former staff of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. Give us a sense of what you make of the Southern Governors Forum on the very knotty issue of the quota, the percentage in the equity share has been, the House of Reps voted for 5%, the Senate voted for 3%. What do you think would be fair?
Well, I think the governors are trying to play to the gallery as far as I'm concerned, because we don't want to become like Venezuela, where you have a very huge reserve of oil, and because of the policies, the policies of the country, investors are not, attracted, to that place. We want to attract investors. We don't have the kind of dollars that you require to develop the oil and gas sector. So you must make policies that is attractive to your investors, who may not necessarily be driven by some of your sentiments. So, and I think that's what government was trying to do, or that's what the Senate is trying to do, to balance, revenue and then what you give away. It's a matter of give and take. And your investors will not come to your place if you take all the money they are going to make, and say you are developing your place. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't develop our communities. Yes, we must. But you have to have an investor first. So that's why I think the issue of 3% is just the beginning, as a matter of fact. So you want to attract people to come, and when they come, once they're there, you can now begin to appeal to them so that you will grow this industry to the level we want it to be. And more so, like we are a gas country, so we need to bring people in here that will develop the gas, sector of the economy so that we can benefit, from the huge potentials in that sector. And the PIB itself, like I've said before, to me, really, I'm not impressed because the issue of accountability, transparency, and good governance is not well entrenched. There are issues that, so some of them may be some salient issues, but they should be addressed. Government, I'm sure, because it's an executive bill, perhaps when it goes back to the government, they will take a fine comb to really ensure that certain issues that are buried in the bill as it is, should be brought up and properly straightened. So Nigeria is not should change, going forward, so that the industry does not become more opaque than it is today, because there are issues there that I think should be addressed. Maybe we don't have the time to do that now, but maybe for another time one can delve into some of these things. But the 3% issue, to me, I think is a good one, so we can attract people's money to develop the industry. We don't have the money, you must know that.
All right. Let me get Mr. Falana's thought on this. It does look like the governors are sticking with the House of Reps on the equity shares for the host communities.
Well, I'm going to advise the governors to mobilize the Senate because of the disagreement between the House of Reps and the Senate. You are going to have a joint committee to look at this matter. But 3% is unjust, is unfair for the oil-producing communities that bear the brunt of environmental pollution and degradation. 5% is even tokenism. To that extent, there should be no reduction, and I do hope that the Senate will have another look at this matter. With respect to the entirety of the oil industry, again, I'm happy that the governors are beginning to appreciate the point some of us have been making over the years, that you can't take, Section 44 subsection 3 of the Constitution provides that all oil resources, mineral resources, gas, all of them will be taken over and will be vested in the federal government on behalf of Nigeria. And for me, if the assets are vested in the federal government, you cannot, as the president of the country, be giving oil blocks to individuals and companies. Those are resources to be managed by the federation, that is the three tiers of government, who are the beneficiaries of the fund that should go to the federation account. So we are talking of joint management here. So it cannot be warehoused in the Federal Ministry of Finance. So the governors are right in saying this should go to the sovereign, wealth account, agency. And I think that is reasonable.
All right. There is one major point that is yet to be made, but we are totally out of time, and it's about the Electoral Act, which the Southern governors are saying that they are rejecting because there are issues as to the electronic transmission of election results. I think that will take us out of our time belt for the program. I guess it's a good time to leave it right here. But I must sincerely thank my guest tonight on the program, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, and also Engineer Yabaji Sonny, the National Chairman of the ADP. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And of course, earlier on,
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you,
we spoke with the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shoaibu. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Deputy Governor, for your time tonight. Well, that's our show for today. Tomorrow, there's one important matter we will take up, which you don't want to miss. I'll keep it like that. I won't reveal it. But meet us tomorrow. The show is 1 hour now, every day of the week. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Shion Kimbaloye. Bye-bye.